Oh, we're sorry.
Was that too loud? Did it bring back bad memories from last night?
That's right. It is your Saturday morning hangover cure. Your Uncle Dave and your Uncle Kev are here. Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition.
Your politically incorrect pop culture recap of
How
the
dare
week.
you even come close to saying politically correct?
I know. God forbid, what was I thinking?
Cut your tongue out!
I need to have another beer.
Yeah. What do we start off with, Dave? Each and every week here on the Saturday morning hangover cure.
We start with music because it's all about the rock. And here as we take March 6th, 2024, dropping Saturday, March 9th, we have Ace Frehley's new album, 10,000 Volts.
Of course, Ace Frehley, the legendary original guitar player for Kiss. Bitter acrimony going back and forth throughout the years between Ace and Paul and Gene. Those of us who are kind of like ancillary members of the Kiss Army.
We know the dirty laundry.
Yes. So now Ace Frehley has said some things here recently as Kiss wrapped up their final tour, the end of the road tour, which we saw at the very beginning.
It feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Jesus, yeah, it does.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah. It's been 5 years, I think.
God, yeah.
5 years, because we saw him at the very beginning.
Yep, one of the first 3 or 4 shows.
Yeah. So, now I will say this. I have been, again, a non-card carrying member of the Kiss Army because I wouldn't pay them. But I have been a Kiss fan since the early days.
I've always enjoyed their music.
One of the bands that I always rooted for, admired back in the 70s. Destroyer, Alive 2, a couple of the albums that I had early on in my record collection. And Ace was always my favorite. Now, that's not a shock. Guys normally gravitate to the guitar player.
Right, it just happens.
Yep. Whether it's Eddie Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Ace Frehley, the girls will gravitate to the lead singer, and that's fine. But yeah, Ace here lately has been saying stuff about how he can sing better than Paul Stanley, which is an easy shot to take when you've got microphones everywhere on the final shows of the end of the road tour, and yes, they're catching Paul Stanley's voice cracking, and
yeah, but look how old he is too. They're in their 70s.
It's a cheap shot.
It is a very cheap shot.
So,
and sorry, Ace, but there's stuff on here where your voice isn't all that either.
yeah, I have got I've got notes on about 4 or 5 songs where the monotone, droning
oh my God,
vocals really get to be a bit much. But what I will say is this falls into the same goddamn pattern.
It starts off strong and fades away.
Yes. Again, just like we can almost go back just to last week with Honeymoon Suite.
Yeah.
3 songs in, great, strong,
and then
very solid, and then falls apart.
With maybe one good one at some point, and
yeah. And I get it. You start off strong, but the great albums that Dave and I grew up with in the 70s and the 80s,
all the way through.
Yes, the deep cuts were awesome.
Ugh.
So 10,000 Volts, we just talked about the beginning. So now I love the title track, first song, 10,000 Volts.
It's awesome. Grown on me. It's good. It's really good.
Yep.
I've grown to appreciate it more the more I listen to it.
It's catchy. It's an earworm. It is an earworm. And then Walking on the Moon, you and I agree, maybe a little bit overhyped and overrated, but still not terrible.
It's still not bad. It's decent.
And then I like Cosmic Heart. I thought Cosmic Heart was pretty good.
It was okay for me. I liked Cherry Medicine a little bit more than
see,
Cosmic
now I
Heart.
can't stand Cherry Medicine. That's where I immediately marked on my list where the vocals start going way down.
They're bad.
I love you, Cherry Medicine.
Despite the
Everything
vocals,
to me.
this is going more classic Kiss. You get classic Kiss in this one.
If you say so. I don't hear classic Kiss in this. This is just more of a headache song to me. Now, before we move on, we've been talking a lot about Mick Mars too, and then we also reviewed Lynch Mob recently. Very interesting compare and contrast. Three great guitarists, and you listen to how they distinguish themselves during the album.
Or not.
Now, Ace of the three is the only one that sings.
Right.
But I will give Ace credit for this, as opposed to what we've heard so far from Mick Mars. The guitar work on this album is great.
It is. It is very,
Ace
very solid.
Is still a top-level guitar player. I still don't think he's as good as George Lynch.
No,
but
he's
definitely,
not. But definitely, his guitar work shines through. Where Mick Mars, his guitar is lost in everything else.
Right. So I just want to bring that up. That being said, I still don't get the whole Cherry Medicine thing. Love you, Cherry Medicine.
Just something about it. It's an earworm to me.
So you're going to tell me you like Back Into My Arms again,
no.
too?
No, I did not like that
That's
one.
the same thing.
Musically, it's worse.
Did you notice, listening to 10,000 Volts, about 3 or 4 of these songs are just so infantile in terms of, like, it seems like it's a 5th grader on the playground running up to a girl with a flower going, "You're so cute. I love you so much." Yes, they're
constantly cute.
Oh, God! God, I hate that song.
Oh my God,
I hate that song.
I'm like, where do I know this rip? Where do I know the vocal tones? The different pieces. And I went back. There's parts of it from Crazy Crazy Nights.
Oh, I can't.
It was just,
How can you, as a grown man and older than us, sing a song called Constantly Cute?
It's just creepy.
And again, there 3 or 4 of the songs here have this whole, oh, gee shucks, golly, I'm in love feel to them.
And it's
but
like,
it's uncomfortable.
No. Yeah, it is. We skipped, though, Fighting for Life.
No, we're coming back to it, yes.
So
I
want to get back. That was
very good song.
That one is that and 10,000 Volts.
Yeah, Fighting for Life, very good. One of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
Because, again, you get the old school Ace, New York streets are nasty, ugly, brutal.
Yes.
The whole New York groove back to when he was...
it's just hard.
The New York Ace
boom.
Frehley is back on that song.
Yeah.
Agree completely. And then we get into the whole paranoia thing, which pops up a couple times on the second half of the album. Ace needs some therapy.
yes, he does. Oh my God.
Blinded and Up in the Sky.
Dude, what the hell are you talking about?
And we know he's Space Ace. That's what he's always been.
But still, that's even...
He loves his UFOs and he loves his government conspiracies.
Ugh.
But wow, you can't lay him out any more blatantly than he does. Blinded. We're blinded by science. We're blinded by fear. And then in Up in the Sky, you can't trust the news. You can't trust the law.
Seriously, come on.
Settle down, Ace.
Perpetuating everything.
And hey, look who you're talking to.
I know, we're the big conspiracy guys here ourselves.
And we're thinking Ace is going too far. We're the ones that are going to call everything out. We're going to call bullshit.
Yes, and we do.
But yeah, Ace is really going even farther than we would.
Yes. And
We've
then
already ripped on Constantly Cute. Life of a Stranger is
another
just weird.
bad one.
Melodramatic.
Yeah, it just,
You know,
what the hell?
You saved me. Is this based on a real life experience? What is he talking about? Love? What is he talking about?
Who knows?
And then it ends with Stratosphere, which is an instrumental, which is fine.
Decent guitar work, not phenomenal, just decent.
Yeah.
I had expected more.
But again, throughout the album, the guitar work is better.
It is. It at least shines through.
Yeah.
But
so that being said, two frenzies.
Yeah, that's about where it belongs.
Yeah.
There's a couple of nuggets, but most of it's eh.
And again, a lot of it boils down to the fact that he sits there and brags about how he can outsing Paul Stanley now. And it's like,
it's not,
Ace,
it doesn't come through.
No, and there are reports out there that he, in concert, it's worse. It is worse.
Yeah.
So.
And when we saw them 5 years ago, Stanley didn't sound all that bad.
Well, but we
there
don't
were
know
some
what
cracks
was.
in whatever
we
was
don't know
going,
what was recorded
and what wasn't.
Yes, because I've heard things about
Yeah.
a lot of
They're
overdubs
getting in
and
their
a lot.
70s. Of course, their voices are going to not be as strong. They're not going to be able to hit certain notes.
And
it happens with people.
Well, with Kiss, you forgive them to a certain extent because of the show.
Right. Let's face it.
If you go to see a show where it's straight up they're playing and they're having to overdub and they're having to use backing tracks, then you feel a lot more cheated.
Right. But you go for the performance, the whole vibe.
Right. And then, in 2027 we'll see
get,
the avatars.
We'll get
the avatars.
We'll get the holograms.
Yes.
God.
All right. So not really a great review for 10,000 volts.
No, not really.
So, sorry, kids. Let's move on to Mark Knopfler. So, somebody we depend upon, rely upon for steadfast, normal. You're going to get what you're going to get.
Yep. Watch Me Gone. We get another sad lament.
Yeah, then the
kind
thing
of
is,
getting to be a theme.
Yeah, we're not getting Dire Straits anymore from him.
No.
We're not getting the upbeat. We're not getting the hope of an espresso love or a money for nothing from him. We're going to have to accept what we get from him.
You would hope at some point you would get something a little bit more upbeat.
Well, I think
for a storytelling.
Well, I think Ahead of the Game was it.
I think so.
The first single.
But now I had hopes that, his solo stuff, you kind of got the feel that getting into
hoping for a resurgence.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than what we've got.
Yeah. See, now I've listened to almost all of his solo stuff. And this is what I expect. I'm actually, overall, with the first two songs, a little bit more optimistic than some of the stuff in the past.
Yeah, they're good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think he's going now more storyteller vibe, a la Gordon Lightfoot.
I don't think that's a bad viewpoint.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I love Gordon Lightfoot stuff.
But the thing is, you're not getting the great guitar
You're not
work.
getting no, it's
more subtle.
Yeah.
It's still there. Watch Me Gone is a perfect example of very subdued guitar work.
But it's still, you can
hear it.
You can hear the intricacies, but it's subdued.
Right.
Like you said.
But we don't want that. That's the thing.
No,
we don't want
we
that.
want to hear him let loose.
We want to hear the classic 2.5 minute Mark Knopfler guitar solo that just draws you in, and you just like, my God, it's amazing what he can do with this instrument.
Yeah.
But yeah, this again is a little more mid-tempo, melancholy. The female singer. I don't know what my problem is lately with female backing singers, but it just
They're
seems
not
like
done well.
I don't need them in my rock and roll.
No,
very rarely do I need them in my rock and roll.
Very rarely do they work. It was not needed with this song.
We had this last week with Honeymoon Suite in one of their songs too.
Yeah, where it wasn't needed.
No.
There's a time and place, and it wasn't with this one.
Yeah. I don't want to give it a bad rating. I'm going to go a weak 2.5. Frenzies.
Yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to go 2.5 or an uber week 3, but it's got to be in the 2.5 realm.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
again ahead of the game, had a little more oomph to it, a little more of the old Dire Straits feel. That's why I think you and I both gave it 3.
Yeah,
but
this one is kind of
a little. Again, this is what I would expect.
His last album, I loved, and if this was on there, it would have probably been the week song on that last album.
Yeah, but still, first 2 songs not terrible when you look at them as a whole.
So, looking forward to the entire album to see how it plays out.
All right, now we're going to have fun because now we pick a song, and we have a song in a band that Dave and I think have one of those fundamental disagreements on. Now, I know better. When he was off a few weeks ago, I reviewed the new Pearl Jam song, Dark Matter, because he hates Pearl Jam. Even though I still don't understand how you could not listen to Dark Matter and not love it. It's just
I have heard Dark Matter on the radio.
Really? They play it on the radio?
Oh yeah, it's on the Bear, our local rock station. They've been playing.
The Bear plays Dark Matter?
Yeah.
Oh no!
It was actually on the
wow.
There's 6
I'm kind of surprised by that.
There's 6-pack at 6. It's been hitting in there. It's not bad. I don't mind Dark Matter. They have songs that I don't mind, some that I really like, but for the most part, I don't care for what they do.
Okay.
And this is one of those nuggets that I enjoyed.
So now we move on. Now we know about the Dave Matthews Band thing. We know about that. We discussed our picks. We discussed our picks for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the one that we disagreed on was Dave Matthews. You voted for Lenny Kravitz
over Matthews. Yes.
No, hell no, not in a million years. So now we get to Kings of Leon, who I have seen in concert. I have all their albums,
and I'm happy for you.
I like them a lot. First single from their new album is Mustang. Now, this is one that's going to test the boundaries
of friendship.
Because to me, this is reminiscent of a quirky 80s new wave type. Now, you like REM, don't you?
I like them.
But not the early stuff.
No, I like the early stuff of REM.
See, this is...
I didn't like the later stuff. I like Dead Letter Box.
Dead Letter Office,
or Dead Letter Office, yeah. After Green, I was not a fan.
Okay.
I didn't like Out of Time.
Okay.
And
see this. So you like Reckoning?
Yeah.
That is the best REM album ever.
Yeah, I liked everything up through Green.
All right. So this is the context I'm trying to lay here. The foundation.
I'm hit and miss. I'm picky.
Well, no, because don't take this the wrong way, but I would have thought that you would have been a later era REM fan.
No, I'm
because
early era.
the Losing My Religion,
Oh, I hated that
type
damn
stuff,
I hated that
and
crap.
not the quirky college radio stuff that
Oh
I
no, I
love.
like the college radio stuff.
Yes.
I hated
Pretty
the
Persuasion, Radio Free Europe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I don't know where we're going to go here, because Mustang reminds me of early REM.
A little bit. I didn't hate it. I had issues with the Muscle magazine on the back of the toilet.
Yeah, they decided just to put that in there. Didn't
I'm like,
even
what
rhyme. Didn't even rhyme.
What are you doing? Are you going PC here? What is this?
Making me feel strong. But see, I didn't mind. I thought that was fun, even though it did not rhyme at all.
No, it was.
It just seemed to come out of nowhere.
It did, and that's why it stuck out.
Yeah. But I loved the feel of the song. Again, it reminds me of mid-'80s college rock.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't hate it.
Are you a Mustang or a kitty? What are you all about?
Yeah. No, this I'm not a huge Kings of Leon fan.
Right, yes. We know that.
But I'll give it a strong 2.5. Week 3.
That's not a bad rating for you.
I know.
See, I enjoyed this thoroughly. I loved it. I give it a very, very strong 3 frenzies, bordering on 3.5.
There you go.
But again, I am a Kings of Leon fan. I like their quirky, bizarre, new wave Southern sound. And this is just another great example of it. Encouraging to me that they have not lost their way, as a lot of other bands
stayed
have.
Where their form.
Yep. So, okay. All right. I was really worried you were going to absolutely hate it.
No, I did not hate this. It was okay. I did not mind it.
I'm going to kick over some trash cans.
So, see, I surprise you once in a while.
The video
I didn't watch
really
the
wild.
video.
The video is just somebody holding the camera, and all the band members are on different rooftops throughout the city. And you got the line in the song about the kid where they have to like bring the ambulance in.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
I just had fun with this song. I just liked it. This is typical Kings of Leon. I'm happy. Sounds like they, again, have not lost their way. Good news, though, coming for new music. Couple of little tidbits for you, Dave, and everybody out there in podcast land, as they're choking down their greasy sausage, their biscuits,
having a
eggs.
Having a pot of coffee directly off the brewer.
By the way, tangent. Speaking of breakfast foods, you're a traveler. You've traveled a lot. I don't. I'm a shut-in. But you travel a lot. Have you ever been to a Bojangles?
I have not been to a Bojangles. I've been to a Waffle House.
I heard today that the greatest dessert you can have at a chain restaurant is the Bo-Berry biscuit at Bojangles.
I doubt it, because Aspen Tap House has fried cheesecake.
But there's only like 3 or 4 of those.
No,
I'm talking about a big chain. Now, deep fried cheesecake, I would defer to. But again, we're talking about bigger chains, like hundreds of them. Bojangles down south, just like Waffle House.
Yeah,
you can't get rid of them. They're everywhere.
Yeah, no, I've never been to a Bojangles.
All right, just curious. All right, we saw the Doobie Brothers a few years back.
Yes,
you and I did, along with Mrs. C. Enjoyable, of course. Doobies are great. Good to see them all getting along.
Yep.
Again, the core 4.
Yep.
Well, the core 4 are putting out a new album.
Are they now?
Michael McDonald, I guess the solo career, the epiphany, all the money he made from
So
his solo
Michael
career.
frickin' McDonald, he's got his memoirs coming out.
No, I did not know that.
Yes.
There you go. Dee, 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 dee. Breaking news. So not only do we have a book coming out from Michael McDonald, but he is officially now completely on
Back.
all levels rejoin the Doobie Brothers. They will have a brand new album coming out. First time since 1980
Damn.
with the Core Four. So that should be.
I'm
Now,
intrigued.
you and I did not like the last Doobie Brothers album.
No, we found it.
Libertad, right? Was that
Libertad.
Yeah, Libertad.
Yeah, we found it lacking.
So maybe we bring Michael McDonald back in. We get some different, some interesting,
It gives a little
bit more punch to the songwriting.
Yeah,
we
we can hope.
I'll be interested.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yep. Now, you and I talk about all the time. We want to go back to the time when these artists that we love put out an album every year or two, right?
Yes.
Remember the old days? Van Halen put out an album every year.
Boom. Boom.
Poison every year.
Boom.
Motley Crue
Boom.
every year.
Rat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there are very few bands or performers like that. Now, there are a few. Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl, they tend to put out music very often. Miles Kennedy.
Miles Kennedy's got to be one of the hardest working guys in rock and roll right now.
Mark
with all
Tremonti,
with everything he's involved with. Tremonti,
Miles and the Conspirators and
Alter Bridge and
I would like to say Collective Soul is one of those.
Yes.
Well, Collective Soul decided to say, let's fucking up it a little bit.
We love Collective Soul.
Collective Soul is putting out a double album.
No!
Of new material. Double album, brand new material. Here to Eternity.
Nice.
Will be out May the 17th. Track list already out, 20 songs.
Woo, this is a 2-weeker.
Gotta love Ed Rollin and the boys. Gotta love them.
God, they are so good. So much fun in concert.
Yeah, officially the first single is Mother's Love, but I'm just going to tell Dave to be on the lookout for it. It's not officially out yet. They've performed it live, but not on Spotify yet, but I have a feeling
coming soon.
Coming very soon is Mother's Love. Now, of course, next week, the big release we've been waiting for quite a while. Invincible Shield, Judas Priest. Now, I will recommend, if Dave will indulge me, that we listen to the deluxe edition.
Well, of course we'll do deluxe.
Instead of the 11 tracks on the standard, there are 3 additional songs. And they look like 3 straightforward, brand new songs.
There we go.
So the deluxe will have 14 songs.
Well, of course we're going to do that before we go see them in May.
Yep. Not technically the first show anymore.
No, it's not.
Damn it. We got the big growl the night before.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
That's okay.
That's fine. So we've got that. And I have one other song just popped today. I don't know how you're going to feel about this. 40th anniversary version edition of Rebel Yell by Billy Idol is coming out. And of course, it's got to be a double CD, double LP. There are a couple new songs on it. New songs. One has not been released yet. This one is a remake of an old Rose Royce song. Billy Idol's Love Don't Live Here Anymore.
Okay.
So let's see what Dave and I think about that next week here on the weekend edition.
Okay, as we transition from music, we're moving into movies here on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
Otherwise known as iHeartRadio. Do not forget to check out the Facebook page where you can find links to each and every episode. We hope you're enjoying the new nonstop format. No more promo breaks. We're done with that crap.
Yep, we just want to roll right on through. Don't forget, end of March here. Radio Public goes away. We just told you where else to go, so start switching platforms if you're on the public.
So before we get into the second part of our Oscar preview, of course, the Oscars this Sunday, the 10th of March.
We will not be watching.
No, I have boycotted the Oscars now for years.
And
I used to watch, I used to go to Oscar parties back when they were fun.
Yeah,
it's become such a political piece of crap that it's not, they've sucked all the fun out of it. But
yeah, it's been at least 30 years since I've watched an Oscars.
But we're having fun here with a great idea Dave came up with a couple weeks ago. Dave and I are going back through the entire history of the Oscars and talking about briefly the best picture winners. Have we watched them? What do we think of them? Little more detail coming in a couple minutes, but first I've got a full review, Dave's got a teaser review, and then we'll get into part 2 from the mid-70s on.
Yep, we will be starting with 1976.
But now I have a movie. My review is a movie that was considered, when it was coming out, a potential Oscar contender, prestige movie. Oscar-winning actor, Oscar-winning director. I am talking about Napoleon.
Ah, you did pull the trigger on Napoleon.
Yes, I watched Napoleon here the other night. Napoleon, of course, stars Joaquin Phoenix, directed by Ridley Scott. Vanessa Kirby plays Josephine. It's a hard movie for me to review because there are parts of it I liked a lot and parts of it I just hated. So I'll break it down.
So it's kind of like Oppenheimer.
See, this is the problem. Watching Oppenheimer, I'm kind of like now looking at these prestigious movies. I liked it more than Oppenheimer. Let's put it that way. Oppenheimer was so disappointing.
Yeah.
At least Napoleon, here's the thing with Napoleon. I'm not a fan of Joaquin Phoenix. I don't think he's a great actor. I just don't. I didn't like him as the Joker. I haven't liked him in anything. I just haven't. I just don't like him. Take that away. Put that aside. I like learning things. I do. Every day I hope to learn something new, even if it's a little tiny thing about how to fix something in the house. Watching a YouTube video for 2 minutes about how to invest something or do something or just learn something new every day. Sounds like it's a cheesy little credo to live your life by, but it works.
It's not. You always expand.
So I like to learn. So the thing about Napoleon that appealed to me was I never got a really true, solid world history course in my life. Throughout high school into college, I never got world history. Nobody ever taught me world history.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
I did learn about the Roman Empire. My Latin teacher was awesome. He taught us about the Roman Empire. And of course, in American history, I learned about the Civil War. Those have always been the two eras of history that I've been fascinated with. But everything else is like a blank slate for me. So I wanted to learn about Napoleon. I wanted to learn about the little dictator and Waterloo and Josephine and all of this stuff.
And no, kids, Waterloo just isn't a theme park.
A song by ABBA. So that part of Napoleon is interesting. Learning about the history of Napoleon and how he came to his rise in power and his exile, and then his second exile in Waterloo, and his love for Josephine. That stuff was all very interesting to a point. And the battle scenes are fantastic. There are two major battle scenes. And if you are the type of person
Do they cover the Battle of Acre?
No.
In Egypt?
No.
Really?
No. Nope. No, most of this pertains to everything that happened up in Russia.
Okay. So they narrow more of the focus.
Yeah. The thing that I liked about it was the military strategy they show in these two battle scenes. One, of course, is Waterloo, the negative.
Yeah.
Showing how he got beat by the Duke of Wellington. And then, of course, earlier on, showing the positive in how he took over power. Because, of course, he's fighting the Russians, he's fighting the British. Like you said, there is that history of fighting in the desert, but they don't really talk a lot about that.
Okay.
The intriguing relationship he had with Josephine, and how it all boils down to she basically couldn't bear him a child. So despite the fact he was enamored with her and loved her beyond belief, he basically cast her aside.
Because she couldn't give him an heir.
Yes, and basically he screws a young girl and has an heir immediately. So the movie implies that it was not her fault in terms of not being able to conceive. But in the end, isn't he just supposed to give a shit about the woman he loves? Whether or not he gets an heir or not from her. But back then,
back in the day, it was all about the heirs.
Right.
Carrying on.
Right. So again, the two big battle scenes are phenomenal in terms of watching how Ridley Scott sets them up. One in victory, one in defeat. The end is anticlimactic.
I would expect it would have been.
Like I said, better than Oppenheimer. I liked it more than Oppenheimer. Number one, it's only 2.5 hours, so it's not nearly as long.
It's a half hour shorter.
Yeah. But beyond the fact, again, I'm not a Joaquin Phoenix fan. The rest of the movie is very well done. I will give it a solid 2.5 frenzies.
All right. There we go.
I understand completely why it was not nominated for any big awards. It does fall short for the most part. I mean, it's a big, expansive production with huge scenes. And again, when he marches his troops into Moscow, this was the most, no action, but the most devastating scene. And he marches the troops into Moscow, and they've already set the city on fire.
Their scorched earth policy.
Yeah.
Leave nothing for the invading.
Forcing Napoleon to decide if he's going to go on in the winter when
Yeah.
his advisors are telling him to go back to Poland and hunker down, and he decides to go forth.
You never invade Russia in winter. Come on.
But again, this is why it's not.
You don't invade Russia in winter and you don't get involved in a land war in China. Come on.
This is why it wasn't a bad movie. Very interesting aspects to it. The military tactics, very cool stuff.
Nice.
So your teaser,
My teaser. So here's we record on the 6th, night before the 5th. Looking for a little something to begin. Didn't have a lot of time to start watching, just kind of a filler mode. So I'm scrolling through, and lo and behold, the movie came out, nominated for some Oscars in 2016. Leonardo DiCaprio won for Best Leading Male. I enjoyed the book. Being on the Western kick that I have been on, enjoyed Michael Punk's book, The Revenant, a classic tale of revenge. So, like I said, limited time. I've always wanted to watch it and never got around to it.
so you did not finish it.
I have not finished it. Time constraints. I got to the point, the pivotal bear attack.
I want to watch it. So let me. I've got it.
Okay.
So
I'm about a half hour into it.
Okay, let's plan on watching that.
Finishing it for next week?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Revenant for next week.
Yes.
I'm down with that because I've never watched it either.
All right. Beautiful.
Yeah, and that's one of those movies that kind of shocked me when I looked at this list that we're going to get to in a minute of one that didn't win Best Picture.
Right. And the book was awesome. I blew through that one in like 2 days. It was short, quick read based on a true story. So we will give you the full movie
that's a
review.
perfect fit. That is a great teaser. Let's jump into that. We'll plan on that for next week.
Yep, the whole Oscar.
We will have
we've got the theme covered for you, kids.
Yep.
We know what we're doing.
We're gonna go. I hate to do this when we're going to talk about some of the greatest movies of all time, but I had another movie for next week, which I think we can do both. Let's plan on both. Let's do the serious movie, The Revenant.
Yeah.
Like you said, Oscar-winning movie. Brand new, coming out this week. Be out now, kids, so you can watch it now here on the Saturday morning hangover cure. On Amazon Prime. I have heard nothing but great things about this. The return to form of the Frehley brothers. Amazon Prime. Ricky Stenicki. Starring John Cena and Zac Efron.
Oh my, Ricky Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki.
Stenicki.
This movie is supposed to go back to the old school Frehley brothers, R-rated, raunchy comedy classics.
Oh Lord!
So we'll give you the serious.
We'll see if it can rank up there with Kingpin.
Something About Mary. Yeah. So we'll see. But I heard Cena and Efron. I'm like, oh God, this could be good.
Oh God!
So this will balance out the scales.
Yes, yes, it will. We'll see which do we like more:
the serious movie and the fun, crass, R-rated crap.
Highbrow or lowest common denominator.
All right, let's explain what we're up to here with the Oscar stuff. Last week, check out last week's weekend edition if you haven't already. We went at the beginning of the Oscars, 1929, Wings, all the way through
to 1975 and The Godfather Part 2.
Now, I had put together a little breakdown of some certain categories. And as I mentioned, if you listen to our sports edition, and I'll repeat it again, last week, Dave shamed me on 5 movies. And he had every right to shame me on these 5 movies. 5 movies I did not see that won Best Picture. They were The Sting, 1974, Patton, 1971, In the Heat of the Night, 1968, Ben-Hur, 1960, Bridge on the River Kwai, 1958. Now, I own The Bridge on the River Kwai, so it's a shame on me that I've never watched it. I have ordered the Blu-ray of Ben-Hur. So those 2 movies I will be doing story time on here coming up. And I want to watch In the Heat of the Night.
They call me
I've got to find
Mr.
it.
Tibbs.
I got to find it somewhere, though. You can't buy it.
No, it's
very expensive.
Yeah.
It's like $25 for the Blu-ray. Patton, I don't know if Patton does it for me.
It's long.
The Sting I have to watch eventually.
If you had to choose, don't watch Patton.
That was the last one out of the 5 that I had on my list.
Yeah. The Sting is freaking great.
But now as we move on, from 1976 to 2023, we again just reviewed Oppenheimer, which we assume will win the 2023 Oscar for Best Picture. Now, we've also been talking about our favorites, because we don't like all these movies. Some of them we think are overrated
some of them are crap.
So I have got my 10 favorites of all time. I've got my 3 that were fantastic, but I will never watch again because they are so heart-wrenching and so disturbing and emotionally just they tear you apart.
You can't.
They tear you apart, and you can guess at least one of them, if not all 3 of them.
Yeah,
and they're all coming here in this segment. So let's start off. Dave. Dave is the one that's going to orchestrate this whole thing. So,
all right, 1976. Jack Nicholson, Louise Fletcher. 1 Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
One of my top 10 of all time.
This is a disturbing one too.
But it is powerful.
It's powerful. It's
Nurse Ratched.
There's so much going on in this movie.
It's borderline. Incredible. This is borderline one of those ones you don't like to watch.
Right. Yeah, because of everything that happens in the facility and how it ends.
Right. But there is no denying this movie is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Phenomenally. Jack Nicholson. This is... see, Chinatown, again, I mentioned this last week. Another one that I can't believe never won Best Picture.
Right.
With him as Jake Gittes, just one of the greatest cinematic detectives of all time. This era of Jack Nicholson in the 70s is where he made his money.
Yeah, this is where he was good. He had the roles that were there.
He wasn't after this.
Yeah, he became a farce of himself.
Yes.
Where it's like, really, just stop, Jack. Just go away. You're phoning it in.
Right. From the late 60s through the late 70s, this is where Jack Nicholson made his money. This is where he established himself.
You hit the 80s with the likes of Witches of Eastwick on, and it was just, no. Yep. Bye-bye. Sayonara. See ya. And you can't handle the truth, Jack.
The Shining was probably his last great role.
Yeah.
Didn't get awards for it, but...
that was probably the last where he was the iconic, really...
Yep. Yeah. Here's Johnny!
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
So now, would you agree or no? One of the top 10 Oscar winners of all time or no? You seem to be hesitating.
Probably. Potentially, it's right up there.
Okay.
To me, it's one of those where I've only seen it once and I could not watch it again.
Oh, okay. So you're going to put it in the
I'm
that
going to put
category.
it in that
Okay.
category where
Okay.
it's a one-off.
I've seen it a couple times. It's again close for me,
Yeah.
but I can watch it. I can watch it. So what's up next?
1977, Rocky.
Come on. How can you not?
Top.
No, but the critics probably say one of the most overrated Oscar winners of all
Bullcrap.
time.
This was good. Come on. Just like the character, the movie is an underdog.
This is where you got
It's got everything.
everything coming together. First time writer, director, young people, young actors
Yeah.
trying to make their mark in Hollywood with a movie that resonated with everyone. The underdog, the classic all-time never be beaten underdog tale. How can you say Rocky isn't one of the 10 best on this list?
You can't.
I defy you.
You cannot.
You, Adrian, I made it. Come on. As much you might think Stallone's a caricature, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
The
matter what
movie
you
was
think of him.
good. The whole character development throughout. Talia Shire starting out. Burt Young.
Burgess
in there.
Meredith.
Burgess Meredith. Come on. Wish? I'll tell you what, Rock. Wish in one hand and crap in the other and tell me what gets filled first.
And
Carl Weathers, God rest his soul, as
course,
Apollo Creed.
Of course. The great Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed. Now, I'm going to just make a note here. To me, 3 of my 10 favorites fell in the 70s. Rocky, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and then last week we discussed The French Connection.
Yes.
This was a great run for movies in the mid-70s.
It was really good.
From 77 through probably 71, if you want to throw Patton in there.
Yeah. Just for what it was. But I think it might be one of the overrated ones.
But now I think we get to a very, very,
we
very
get to
dry
some
run.
hit and
A very
miss
dry
and
run.
some
For about a decade.
Some things where I've seen and I'm like, why were these even considered? Why were
Yep.
Starting with 1978, Annie Hall from the way frickin' overrated Woody Allen.
I agree completely with you on that.
Oh, I think it's gonna be just fine.
I gotta kill the spider? You want me to kill the spider? That's the big scene in Annie Hall.
Yeah.
Is him being a wuss about killing the spider.
I've never seen it, so I couldn't.
This is one that I have a question mark next to. I think I watched this.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
But it didn't leave any mark on me. So.
All right, then we hit 1979. Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, The Deer Hunter.
Yeah, this one.
Whew.
This one on many levels.
This is a one watch.
Yes.
This has been a one watch.
This is a one watch for me as well. This is my first one where I have this as a one watch. This made the career of Christopher Walken. This is what catapulted him.
Yeah.
Even though he's become a much different actor, much more comedic.
Yes.
Than what he is in this movie. Michael Cimino, just like with Sylvester Stallone in Rocky, this was his one shot. This was it.
This is it.
And I'm not trying to make a joke saying one shot.
No, not with
we know about the Russian roulette. But yeah, this is such an intense, disturbing movie. It is a good movie.
It's really good.
I am not disparaging it at all, but
it is definite. It is powerful. The Vietnam vets coming back, what they're having to deal with, how they deal with what they went through. Again, it's a one-off.
Yes. You should watch it. but I would not think, like Dave and I are talking about, you'll want to watch it again.
No.
You won't want to. And that's not disparaging the movie. It's a great, great, powerful movie, but it's not a movie you want to watch more than once.
Right. 1980, Kramer versus Kramer. Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep. Didn't see it, never wanted to see it, won't ever see it.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw that. This is the movie we just talked about, how the Deer Hunter basically established Christopher Walken as an actor. Kramer versus Kramer established Meryl Streep as a top level actress. It didn't do all that for me. I thought it was okay. But again, it's one of those movies you go, looking back, okay, big freaking deal. Back then, back in 1980, maybe divorce was a lot more traumatic.
It brought it to the forefront.
It doesn't have that kind of gravitas that everybody made it out to have back then.
Yeah.
But again, we're going to see a lot of that throughout the 80s. Is what I'm looking ahead on our list.
Yeah. So 81, Ordinary People. Donald Sutherland, Mary Tyler Moore, Judd Hirsch, Timothy Hutton.
Yeah, another one I watched. Same feeling as Kramer versus Kramer.
I never watched Ordinary People. No desire.
It's the same thing. Whereas Kramer versus Kramer tried to bring divorce to the front, Ordinary People tried to bring mental issues to the front.
Yeah.
And how we were all ignoring everybody. You know, sorry, again, we're politically incorrect, so I'm going to say this. This is where the snowflakes came in. This is where, oh my God, I've got issues, and mommy and daddy aren't helping me with my issues.
Okay.
So, buck up, Buttercup. We're not supposed to say that, I know. We're all supposed to go get help, go get therapy, and that's fine. But Ordinary People was one of those movies where Timothy Hutton's got issues. He needs help. And we sit there and we suffer along with Donald Sutherland and Mary Tyler Moore as his parents. Get him help.
Yeah.
And maybe, some people can't be helped.
Maybe they can't. Yeah, I've never had a desire for this one.
Oh, but wait, the next 5 years. Let's go through the next 5 years.
Okay, we've got a couple in here that, again, I've said I've watched some movies being homesick when there was nothing else to do, and we're hitting a run of those here, kids.
Really?
Chariots of Fire from 1982.
Vangelis.
Dun, dun, dun,
That's all I remember. All I remember about that movie.
The 4 Minute Mile.
Did not watch it. Did not want to. Did not care.
I needed something to do what was on. It wasn't fantastic. It was mildly entertaining.
Never had a desire, want, need, or anything to see this movie.
Oh. Then we hit 83 with Gandhi.
Oh! The drunken party movie. What? No, wait, sorry. That was Bachelor Party. What?
No, Gandhi with Ben Kingsley.
And again, another star-making turn.
Yes.
Gandhi set Ben Kingsley up.
Yep, with John Gielgud and Candice Bergen in it. I did see this one. This is another one-off for me.
Okay.
It was actually interesting how the whole thing in India came about. So it kind of had that historical piece.
Isn't it very long?
It's long, but it's worth watching once. All right, and so that'll lead us to 1984. Terms of Endearment with Shirley MacLaine, Deborah Winger, and Jack Nicholson. Didn't see it. No desire to see it.
See, now I would have thought you'd watch this.
No.
No, okay. I'm with you on this, 100%.
Yeah, no.
No, don't care. Never cared. Didn't do anything for me.
Nope. 1985. Rock Me Amadeus.
Never watched it. Didn't care. Don't
Yeah,
care.
I watched it. It wasn't all that.
Okay. That's
What I will tell you is Tom Hulce
of
as
course,
Amadeus.
from Animal House.
Yeah. His big thing throughout playing Amadeus. Playing the psycho nutcase. Just
The only thing I remember about Amadeus is F. Murray Abraham. And again, this is another movie that catapulted him
yeah,
and gave him his career.
yeah. But it's a one-off just because it was bad, not because it was great and too intense. It just wasn't good. It was a period piece. That's why it won. 1986, Out of Africa. I did see the.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
Oh God!
And I regret it.
God.
It wasn't great.
Oh God! Oh God!
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
God.
said. I would have rather watched
God.
Oh God
Oh God!
with George Burns.
Oh God!
Yeah, another Meryl
God.
Streep crap fest, and Robert Redford was in it. It was
God! All right, now we're getting into better stuff.
Now we're starting to improve. We're getting there. 87 Platoon. Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Willem Dafoe, Oliver Stone's big Vietnam flick.
One of my 10.
This was phenomenal.
One of my 10 best.
This was great.
Platoon.
I've seen it multiple
times. One of the
times.
best war movies ever made.
Yes. Very, very good.
Yep. And Oliver Stone, I'm not a big fan, but
he hit it out of the park.
This is kind of like, again, looking back, we just talked about Rocky. This Michael Cimino, The Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
When you're early, it's almost like rock and roll. That debut album.
Yes.
Look at the debut album, Van Halen, the first album.
Boom.
You know, the debut album. You've had years and years and years of working in the clubs, honing your craft, writing all these great songs. And that first album comes out, boom. It's the same thing with these movies.
Yeah, you get the hit and boom, and then you start overthinking everything.
Yeah, you've had all that creative angst and those ideas building up for years and years and years, and then you finally get your chance, and then all that greatness is there.
Yeah,
and
you blow your wad, so to speak.
Yep.
Then follows up 88, The Last Emperor. This I did not see.
Thank God. I was going to say, if you watch The Last Emperor,
yeah,
I'm going to slap you.
No,
I'm
did not watch The Last Emperor. Now we get into a run. 89, Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, Tom Cruise, Valerie Galino.
This one tied. I had a tie for my very last spot of the 10 best.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the other one here in just a minute. But I liked Rain Man a lot.
It was good.
And Dustin Hoffman is fantastic in this.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Anything I've seen Dustin Hoffman in has been pretty good, with maybe the exception of Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium was kind of lame. But when he's in Papillon, oh, so good.
Marathon Man.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, and I think we're getting a run here. Once we start now with Rain Man, I think we can take this, with a few exceptions, all the way into the 2000s. And this is when the Oscars started to say, maybe we need to start listening to the people.
Yeah.
And when these movies are popular, we need to start paying attention to the popular movies.
Yeah.
And realize that the people like them, maybe we should like them too.
Yep. 1990, Driving Miss Daisy.
I think I saw it.
I know I saw at least most of it. It's one of those,
Yeah.
it's kind of ambiguous, but Morgan Freeman was freaking fantastic.
Yeah, again, it's one of those movies. I'm not sure if I saw it. It doesn't bother me one way or the other.
Yeah. So then Dances with Wolves in 91. We're sucker for Westerns. It's Kevin Costner.
Yep.
Very well done.
And this is the one that ties with me with Rain Man for that last spot.
Yeah.
I'll have to admit, I need to watch it again. It's been a long time, but I remember watching it and liking it a lot.
Yeah.
It's long.
Yeah, it
Very
is.
long.
Was it back in 2017, Mrs. C and I took the boys on a western swing. And as we were running through South Dakota, we stumbled upon 1880s town. And they had a museum as part of it with a lot of the props from Dances with Wolves, which was really freaking cool.
And this was the movie. Again, Dave mentioned we love Westerns. We talk about Westerns all the time. We've talked a lot over the last month about Clint Eastwood. This was the movie where Kevin Costner established himself as possibly our generation's Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
If you think about, and now he's got
He
Horizon
had his
coming out.
intro in Silverado.
Right.
But this, boom, put him right
because later
there.
on we get the Open Range, we get Wyatt Earp, and of course we've got Yellowstone on TV, and now we're getting Horizon. He loves the Western.
Yes, and he does them well.
Yep.
All right.
Now I think, can I just cut in? Bold statement. Maestro making a bold statement. 3 of the next 4 years, 3 of the greatest movies ever made.
Yes.
I don't care if they were Oscar winners or not. 3 of the 4 greatest of these 4 movies. 3 of these movies, greatest movies ever made.
Yes. Yes, they are. I will agree with you there. 1992, Silence of the Lambs.
Number 1. Boom.
Boom.
Boom, number 1.
Fan-freaking-tastic.
That was another star-making turn for Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. I mean, he'd been in a lot of different things, but this was his real...
Jodie Foster as well. Just, you cannot dispute the fact this is such an unbelievably great psychological thriller.
On every freaking level.
He puts the lotion in the basket.
It rubs the lotion on its skin.
Oh my God, such an I mean, this is the movie that gave us Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, come on.
Oh my God. I mean, Thomas Harris, of course, wrote the book. But
yeah, I mean, a few years before we had Manhunter
with William Peterson,
right, which introduced
Hannibal Lecter, Brian Cox.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Hannibal Lecter is the guy who's doing the McDonald's commercials now. How do you feel about that, kids? What's in your Big Mac? Little father means in a nice Chianti.
Little backstrap there for you.
Oh, we're just having fun. We're having fun, kids. It's awesome.
1993. Another phenomenal Western. Unforgiven.
Again, one of the greatest movies ever made. One of the greatest movies ever made. And it was time for Clint Eastwood to ascend to the level of the greatest Hollywood icon of all time, in my opinion.
Yep. Actor, director, writer.
Yep.
Then 1994 brings us another heart-wrenching, can only watch it once.
You knew I was going there with that. Yeah,
Schindler's List.
Because it reminds us of a time in history that we all want to forget. It's so well done. Liam Neeson You know, with the whole, this watch, this ring.
They could have saved many
Yes.
more.
I mean, that is one of the most powerful moments in motion picture
And
history.
the disturbing performance from Ralph Fiennes.
And that was another star-making moment for him.
Yeah.
As terrible as his character was in this movie, that's the role that made him a star.
Yeah.
Yep. So I remember him sitting up there with this rifle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
Yep. Completely with you. Great movie. Cannot watch it again.
Nope.
Cannot watch it again.
1995. Forrest Gump.
You know
You're
how
a
much
sucker
I love
for
this
this
movie.
one.
You know how much I love this movie. I've watched it dozens of times, and I cry every time I watch it.
See, I've only watched it a couple of times.
I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made because it's a feel-good movie. It's what movies should be.
Yeah.
Well done, well acted, makes you feel better. There's bad times, there's bad things. Jenny's dying. It's life. It is life.
It runs the gambit.
I mean, it
the
is
highs,
life.
the lows.
The music. The music is unbelievable. When I see him, when I see Tom Hanks running across America with Jackson Brown playing in the background,
running on empty,
I'm getting teared up thinking about it. I just think it's movie making at its best.
Yep.
Forrest Gump is, and I hate people that now look back and go, it didn't deserve it. It wasn't serious enough. Fuck you.
Screw you.
Fuck you and go to hell.
It was the best movie of the year.
It was one of the greatest movies ever made. Sorry, it was. That's my number one on this list. Completely.
There you go. Then we hit 1996 with Braveheart. A Mel Gibson kind of epic, the fight against British tyranny. It was okay.
I'm with you.
It's a one-off. Just not because of the content. It was just a one-off.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch it again, but why?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that great to begin with.
No.
It was okay.
It was okay.
There are many movies coming later on this list that are much worse.
Yeah. Now we hit a run of 3 that I have not seen, had no desire to see, nor will I ever see.
Okay.
We start off with The English Patient from 1997.
No, I've never seen it, and all I remember is the Seinfeld parody episode. Because it is one of the most mocked Best Picture winners of all time.
Yeah,
people make fun of it.
The premise is just like, really? No.
It's another.
Just no.
Ralph Fiennes again, though.
Yeah.
Makes his mark.
Yeah, well, they were trying to cash in. Then 1998 Titanic. Ugh.
Did you ever see? You never saw
I've never seen it, and I never will.
Okay.
Boy and girl meet on boat. Boat hits iceberg. Boat sinks.
We all know how it turns out.
Boy dies. Woman lives. End of story.
And go online. I still say one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen on the internet is when they show the schematics of how all the different ways he could have got on that piece of wood and saved himself. No, Titanic. I had another one of my little subcategories was the 3 most overrated Oscar winners of all time that I have watched. And I had Casablanca back in 1944, which we talked about last week. Titanic is number 2.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people love this movie.
I haven't seen it. I refuse to see it. Never wanted to.
Two good things about the movie. 2 good things. Cameron special effects when the boat splits in half. That scene you got to see on the big screen. That's amazing.
And Kate Winslet's breasts.
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! She's so pretty. Oh my God, she's so good looking. One of the most underrated, beautiful women in the world.
There you go. Then you hit 1999, Shakespeare in Love.
I watched it.
Didn't see it. Never
Not bad.
cared to.
Not bad.
It's freaking Shakespeare.
Not bad. I didn't hate it.
All right, there you go. 2000, American Beauty.
I think you and I might have a dispute here. I think American Beauty is a phenomenal movie.
Oh, I thought it was great. It's
a commentary at
twisted.
the time on suburban culture
and
and
a
the
man
emasculation of
hitting
men.
his midlife crisis.
Right.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, we all know he's a dirtbag.
Yeah, but he was
An actor,
freaking
as an
brilliant.
actor, this was his run. L.A. Confidential's not in here because, of course, it didn't win, but
He had
Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
He had a run 7 where he was the best actor in the world.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So American Beauty was really damn good.
Yep. Now I'm shocked. I wouldn't think you'd like that.
No,
movie.
I enjoyed it.
Okay. Very cool.
And then 2001, Gladiator with Russell Crowe.
See, it didn't do as much for me as it did for
It
other
was
people.
okay.
I feel the
don't
same way
know.
about that as like Braveheart.
Yeah.
I think Gladiator was better.
Gladiator was better, but were they Best Picture? No.
And of course, this was the run where Russell Crowe started to get on.
Yeah. See, now 2002, when he was there with the winner, A Beautiful Mind, never saw it.
Not bad. Not bad. It's okay. Pretty good.
So,
Not earth-shattering, groundbreaking, great. Just good. One of those uplifting type movies.
Yeah.
It's like Rain Man, except Dustin
Different.
Hoffman was better as Rain Man.
all right.
Yeah.
There we go.
And now we start to get into the
2003, Chicago.
Never saw it.
I saw it.
Oh my God, you did?
Yeah.
A musical?
I don't mind musicals.
I can't stand musicals.
They're not horrible.
Did you
But-
see La La Land?
Oh, no, I haven't seen La La Land.
All right. Greatest Showman?
Have not seen that yet. That's one that I kind of thought about.
All right. So how was Chicago?
Overrated.
Okay.
So.
Oh God, here we go. Oh God.
And then Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Yeah.
Oh God.
The freaking ridiculously long epic. Of course, I've seen them all. But,
I watched the first one, and that was it. I couldn't do it after that.
Yeah.
I'm not that person. Sorry.
So now here's the first of my shameful that I haven't seen it.
No.
2005's
No!
$1 Million Baby. It's on my list to eventually watch.
Oh wow. Really?
But unfortunately, I
Wow.
heard too much about it before I got a chance to see it, and I didn't really want to because I thought this is only going to be one where I'll just watch once.
It is. It is
And-
the third of my 3 where
And
it's a phenomenal
I
movie,
haven't
but you can
watched
only
it
watch it once.
because I know what the end was.
Oh, that's a shame. I am so
That
sorry
got
for you.
ruined for me, and
Oh,
so I just
God.
couldn't do it.
That sucks. Seriously, that sucks.
So at some point I may get to it, but
Oh, brilliant movie. Brilliant movie. Clint Eastwood, of course. Hilary Swank, Morgan Freeman.
yeah.
Oh, my God. But yeah, you can only watch it once.
Yeah.
You never want to watch it
Yeah.
again.
Unfortunately,
watch it again.
early on, somebody ruined it for me.
And again, this was Clint Eastwood in his run as a director.
Yeah. Then we had 2006 Crash.
I like Crash.
Crash was good. It was powerful.
I wasn't sure if you'd watch that.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it. It was whoo baby.
Yeah, it does a nice job of balancing all the social issues, racism, and
Yeah.
I thought it did a really good
It was
job.
a really good movie.
Yes, I agree. I thought
It
Crash was really good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It deserved to win that year.
Yeah. And a lot of people say it didn't. And I'm like,
Then you don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
this is the type of movie that should win Best Picture.
Yeah. Then 2007, The Departed.
We have to give Martin Scorsese an Oscar at some point, don't we? Maybe we should do it this year.
It wasn't all that.
No.
It,
No, I like
I've
the ending.
seen it.
I like
the ending was good, but for the most part, it sucked.
Yeah, overlong.
Way over freaking
Yep.
rated.
Yep. Agree.
Now, 2008, No Country for Old Men. This was good. It was disturbing,
Yes.
but it was good.
Yeah, it's good, not great.
This was another one-off.
I could watch it again.
Javier Bardem was just
yes.
Wow.
Javier Bardem was fantastic. Yeah, he was the star of this, obviously, for good reason. I could watch it again. I probably will, because it's been a long time, obviously, since I've watched it originally in 2008. But
it could be time to see it again.
To revisit this, yeah.
Yeah. 2009, Slumdog Millionaire. Nope, didn't see it.
It was okay. It was not worth. Don't worry about watching it. Let's put it that way.
This is one that I was never going to watch.
It was not. It wasn't the worst on this list. Let's put it that way. Definitely not the best.
So 2010, The Hurt Locker. This was pretty good.
Overrated.
I will agree with you there. It was good. It should not have won Best Picture, though.
Overrated. Vastly overrated. Not a terrible movie, but vastly. It was slow. Oh, my God.
It was good, but it wasn't
Best Picture.
What did The Hurt Locker
give it? The Hurt Locker gave us Jeremy Renner.
That's true. So,
again, another star-making turn.
Yep. 2011, The King's Speech. Haven't seen it.
Okay, neither have I.
So, 2012, The Artist. Haven't seen it.
I think this is now, starting with Slumdog Millionaire, I think this is where the Academy said, just like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame said, we don't care about the fans anymore.
Right. Yep. Forget you.
Yep.
So, 2013, Argo.
The last of my top 10. Argo is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck.
This is the last one that I have seen.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Okay. I got a couple more.
So,
but Argo is so good.
Yeah.
So good. And Ben Affleck needs to get some credit. As much as a doofus as he can be as the Dung King. And his jumping around between different Hollywood stars and women, and is he with Jennifer Garner? Is he with Jennifer Lopez?
Which Jennifer is it?
Is he in rehab?
No, Argo was great.
Argo was and that's another one I want to watch again.
Yeah,
I gotta watch Argo
again.
Need
to see that again.
Yep.
2014, 12 Years a Slave. Haven't seen it. No, probably won't.
Have not.
2015. This is one that I do want to see that I haven't yet. Birdman.
Birdman is interesting. If you watch it, I would say you should.
Yeah, this is one.
But let me just put it this way to you. Let's put it in context based on our earlier discussion in music. The Birdman is the Kings of Leon of movies.
Oh, Lord.
It's quirky. It is weird. It is quirky. It is off kilter. You either get it or you don't. It's almost like a Big Lebowski type of movie. You got to be in tune with the vibe.
There you go.
Of course, Michael Keaton's in it. He's awesome as always.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was fun, but again, just me.
Yep. That's on my list at some point. Spotlight from 2016. Haven't seen it.
I don't care. It sounds unbelievably boring. The media talking about how great they are for exposing a scandal. Didn't we see that in All the President's Men?
Yeah.
So why do I need to see it again?
There you go. Moonlight.
Don't care.
Never.
Sorry, don't care.
Yeah. Shape of Water.
Oh my fucking God. Awful movie.
Good thing
awful,
I didn't watch.
Awful.
Watch the cleaning
awful
lady sleep with
fucking
some
movie.
fish person.
This is the third of my three. The most overrated pieces of garbage best pictures of all time. Oh my God. Yeah, the cleaning lady sleeping with the amphibious human being. It's supposed to be a story about how we should all get along and love each other. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's crap. And so I'm sorry, again, politically incorrect. Sally Hawkins is an ugly, ugly woman. Fishman could have found better.
All right, 2019 Green Book.
I haven't watched it. I'm kind of curious because I love Viggo Mortensen so much.
I'm intrigued with the premise because during the whole 60s bit for travel for African Americans, they had their own travel guide of where they could stop. This intrigues me with Viggo
I
as
wouldn't
part
mind
of it.
watching Green Book.
So I'm intrigued by that for the historical aspect.
Yep.
2020 Parasite.
My daughter says it was great.
Well, that means it probably sucks ass.
It's subtitled.
Yeah.
That right there is... Oh, I'm sorry.
Here we go. 2021 Nomadland.
No, you're wrong. You just wanted to say that to piss me off. Because you knew I couldn't rant on Nomadland because it got upset that year. Even though Frances McDormand won for shitting in a bucket for Best Actress. Coda won that year.
I have Coda winning 2022.
No. Coda won 2021.
Well, then the list I had was wrong.
What do you have for 2022?
I have 2022 Coda, 2023 Everything Everywhere.
Let me see your list. What is this list? No, because there's something wrong here. Yeah.
Dun, dun.
Because have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No, that's one that I want to.
That's not bad. It's weird. Again, it's like Birdman. Very weird, very quirky.
Dun, dun.
See, because 2023 is going to be Oppenheimer. It's not 2024. Because,
okay, so then wait a minute. So that was
you've got to double up on Nomadland and
screwed
Coda.
up somewhere in there.
Yeah. See, Nomadland got beat by Coda.
Then why did they list?
And Oppenheimer will be 2023, where you've got everything. See, what they did is they jumped from the year the movie was released to the year of the ceremony. Don't worry, kids.
Yeah.
We're almost done
figure
anyway.
It out.
But anyway, it doesn't matter because they all suck. Nomadland sucked! I'm sorry, I'm not watching Coda. It's a movie about deaf people. I'm not watching it. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, the last Oscar winner up until this year, where again, presumably Oppenheimer, which we were underwhelmed by. Last year, Everything Everywhere All at Once, intriguing movie. You should watch that. Again, Birdman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, both the same kind of quirky, weird vibe. Not bad. Not bad.
So, there we go.
We hope you enjoyed the wrap-up of the history of the Oscars. But, of course, we're not done yet.
No.
Because we got to talk about TV and streaming.
I got a book for you.
Books, moments of silence, and, of course, a few dumbasses. So, nonstop, let's get into it.
All right. So now we'll kick off book review of the week. Brad Taylor's latest Pike Logan adventure, Dead Man's Hand. This one finds Pike and his task force team trying to figure out what's going on in Europe. They're told to find out why the Russians are targeting a Swedish diplomat who's courting Turkey, trying to get them involved in NATO. Behind the scenes, Putin gets one of his guys in the with the GRU to find a secret group, the Valkyries, who are trying to plot his assassination using a group of Ukrainian rebels. It's present day taking place, if you couldn't guess by now.
Jeez. Yeah.
So Pike and his team are trying to track down, gathering intelligence for the U.S. government. Not what they're supposed to be doing. They take out terrorists and those who are trying to hurt Americans. And so they're out of their element in this one. And they're trying not to take sides. They want to know what's going on. But the Dead Man's Hand, when they capture two Russians later on, you find one who's plotting Putin's assassination, the other working directly for Putin, trying to find the assassination crew. And lo and behold, that guy is one of Putin's four horsemen who holds the Dead Man's Hand, that if anything happens to him, boom goes nuclear holocaust. So, an intriguing little tale taking place with some cute little spins here and there. I'll give it a lukewarm 3. So there are parts of it that's like it goes a little too long. It's a little too long of a tale. It could have been wrapped up a little quicker. But not bad. Not bad at all.
Now, of course, coming up in books, Dave, of course, reads 4,000 books a week. So I try to keep up as best I can, which means once a month.
Yep. I have finished Kellerman's The Ghost Orchid.
Yeah.
You're
That's what I was just going to
through it.
say. 2 weeks
I'm
from
waiting.
now. 2 weeks from now, we will review The Ghost Orchid.
So,
The latest Alex Delaware mystery by Jonathan Kellerman.
Yep,
And then
I've started the short story collection by our favorite James Lee
that's
Burke,
the next
Harbor
one.
Lights.
That's the next one.
I've got the first story in there done. I kind of want to hold off. I might return that to the library and wait and come back to it. But I've got the new one
Which, of
from
course,
CJ
you
Box.
can split because
Yeah.
it's short stories.
Yeah. So I've got the new one from Steve Barry, the latest Cotton Malone. I've got CJ Box's latest.
Yep.
So I've got some stuff coming up, plus continuing with the Gray Man.
And I got to get into the Gray Man. That was my next goal, but I have to get through Ghost Orchid and then Harbor Lights and then get into the Gray Man. So we got you covered on, again, flashback, literary frenzy.
That's right.
I hear the Beatles playing Paperback
Rider.
Oh, I love those days. I love those days when we would record those old public access shows. You and I
But we were
told
limited.
everybody we're not just doing sports anymore.
We're covering it all.
Yep, pop culture.
Yep.
And that's why we do now the weekend edition as well as the sports edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0 each and every week here on Spotify, Google, and all the rest of those wonderful hosts. Now, TV and streaming. Before we get into, give me a brief little overview here. I do have one review, but let's talk some news. Now, you have read the books on this. The TV show already a massive hit. I have it on my DVR. I still am very cautious about this. It doesn't look like it's my cup of tea, but Tracker on CBS has been renewed already for season 2.
Yeah. We're recording them, haven't gotten to them yet. I'm hesitant, but we'll see. So,
Arguably, I was gonna put this in the dumbasses of the week, but I decided to let it slide. I don't know why. Fox is gonna reboot Baywatch.
oh God help us. I saw that and I was hoping that it was a nightmare. So,
Are we still gonna get the tight
Red-
one-piece red suits?
where they run in slow motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they
Probably
allow that
not.
anymore? No.
Probably not.
No, probably gonna have 2 guys holding hands.
Yeah. I do want to go back.
Junk in a trunk.
Yeah. Go back a couple weeks ago to NCIS, where they paid homage to David McCallum, because he was on forever as forensic Dr. Ducky. They did a nice job talking about past cases and remembering his character, and it was very well done. So kudos to them for doing a good job with that.
Yep. And I actually heard about that. I was actually, now, for me, I was going back and looking at the old Man from U.N.C.L.E. stuff
Yep.
when I heard about that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
he was the star, not Robert Vaughn. McCallum made that show.
All right, I have to bring up your kind of sort of weekly update on wrestling. We have to say adieu. Goodbye. Farewell.
Parting is such sweet sorrow.
To one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Called it quits this past Sunday night, March the 3rd, at AEW Revolution. After 39 years, Sting is done. Sting called it quits this past Sunday. So, he is done. He is over. So, again, one of the legends has finally called it quits. Sting is through, supposedly, with professional wrestling. They made a big deal about this. I would assume this is one of those where you can't go back. You said you're retiring.
They did this, that's...
They are starting to announce, in anticipation of WrestleMania, the WWE announcing their Hall of Fame inductees. Paul Heyman is in. My name is Paul Heyman. One of the greatest managers of all time. Just such a greasy sleazeball. He's so great.
The good managers need to be recognized.
Yep. And then, of course, the twist. Another twist coming up for WrestleMania. Now, there is going to be a 2-night main event featuring the same wrestlers. Saturday night. Of course, now WrestleMania is a Saturday-Sunday affair. Saturday night, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins will fight The Rock and Roman Reigns.
Oh, for the love of God and all that's holy.
Depending on who wins for Sunday night, for the big Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns Universal Championship Showdown, depending on who wins the Saturday night tag team match, the Bloodline is either gone completely, will not have any chance to affect the match, or if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, Bloodline rules.
They fucking had to get The Rock in there somehow, didn't they? Go away, Dwayne Johnson.
He's going to be your next president, Dave.
Go away, Dwayne Johnson. We're done.
All right, the shows that we watch. Tokyo Vice, episode 5 last week.
Oh, shit.
Such a great show. And if you people aren't watching it, shame on you.
This thing is phenomenal. And damn, what an ending.
Yep.
Probably one of the more powerful endings we've had.
Yep. And again, executive produced by Michael Mann, not connected in any way, shape, or form to Miami Vice, but it's got the same intensity, same well-written storylines. Of course, based on Jake Edelstein's memoirs from back
loosely based.
But it is.
It's
Anson Elgort
so
plays
good.
him. I mean, it is just, again, we talk about it week after week. We don't want to spoil it for you. It's basically power struggle within the Yakuza. But again, there's other people involved, reporters, nightclub owners who are drawn into the strife.
Yeah. It's a powerful show.
We cannot recommend this more. Now, Resident Alien is still going on. Did you guys start watching it yet?
We have not yet. I cannot get Mrs. C to pull the trigger.
And I understand because we talked about last season, number one, drawn out way too long.
Yeah.
And number two, did not have nearly as much humor as the first season. I still say 3 episodes in, much better.
Good.
Much funnier. Much funnier.
Yeah. No.
Alan Tudyk is at his best.
I like to hear that. No, we're halfway through the final season of Breaking Bad. As we can get through it amongst everything else, she wants to finish that before we start Alien. And it's driving me nuts. And there we go.
No worries. Now, I personally, if you guys remember a couple years ago on the weekend edition on Max, HBO Max, I watched The Tourist. The first season of The Tourist. Now, Netflix has brought on that show, and the second season just hit this past week.
That's one we started watching, and I could not get her to commit to keep going. I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and watch that one.
Yep. And only watched the first half of the first season, or the first episode of the second season, sorry. And already, of course, Jamie Dornan stars in it from the 50 Shades movies. Half an hour into the first episode of the second season, he's already getting assaulted and beat up in a bathroom. So
come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's already off to a great start. And I'll everybody thinks I'm politically incorrect, and I'm an asshole, and all I care about is hot chicks
and guns
and beer
and fire
and
trucks.
Yeah, that's all I care about. I want to say this. I'm going to put this out there. They do a great job. Now, Jamie, he's a good-looking dude. He's cut, good-looking dude. Of course, he was in the sex trilogy that your wife dragged you to go see.
Yeah.
The whole premise of this movie, beyond, the fact he doesn't know what's going on, he was run off the road in season 1, he's got assassins coming after him. He ends up hooking up with a constable in Australia. She's a heavy-set woman. She's not your picture-perfect supermodel. God, she's just cute and nice, and she's really attractive.
She's adorable.
She's adorable. And I love her. And if anything bad happens to her, I'm going to be very upset. I don't care if she's chunky. She's got a sweet smile. She's just so adorable. I recommend catch up on The Tourist, season 1, and now you can watch season 2 on Netflix.
Very cool.
I have my review of Beef, the highly acclaimed Netflix series. Now it's pretty much a Korean American, Asian American cast.
The whole road rage.
Yep, Glenn from The Walking Dead. Stephen Yeun is one of the stars. It starts out with road rage, and it escalates from there, and boy, does it escalate. I mean, my God. I mean, it goes from a simple road rage incident.
Is it eye-popping?
Well, Negan shows up in episode 4 with a baseball bat.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
And that is the episode, by the way, where The Walking Dead jumped the shark, I think.
Yep.
I think people were so disturbed by that they said, I'm out. Okay,
Yeah, a
you've
lot of
pushed things
people
too
did.
far. But Beef, the last episode goes a little too far, stretching the credibility. After all these people have gone through, as the road rage escalates,
escalating to a point, but then it just goes off.
It stretches. It stretches your ability to believe that this is really actually happening. Too many coincidences. Too many things happening. If this happened, then this happened, then this happened. A little too much with that. That being said, again, this isn't one that my daughter wrote me in on. Just like The White Lotus. And I ended up watching both seasons of The White Lotus. And I'm worried about my daughter, by the way. I think she's attracted to shows with these despicable, awful, terrible human beings. And I'm just thinking I need to get her therapy. Like, my God, Cassidy, you might be more negative about humanity than I am watching these shows.
Yeah, we do need to get her in therapy.
Oh, my God. But Beef is interesting, entertaining. I liked it. I'll give it 3 frenzies.
All right.
A solid 3 frenzies. Well acted, well done. Again, I didn't like the last episode. The resolution was okay, but not great.
All right. There we go.
All right, moments of silence. All in the world of music is what I've got. Now, this one flew under the radar a little bit. Nina Avramides. You go, who? Maestro, who are you talking about? Nina Avramides was one of those people behind the scenes for some of the greatest music performers throughout the 70s and the 80s. She was a manager for Jimmy Buffett, Jimmy Page, Chicago, and The Cult, among others. Also have to send out thoughts and prayers to Bob Hale. Who's Maestro? What are you doing? What? Who are these people? Bob Hale was the man who invented the talk box.
Ooh.
Peter Frampton, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, among the ones who, the great performers who utilized the talk box to successful, great effect. Now this one hurts. The final one I've got, this one hurts bad. We just reviewed a few weeks ago Blackberry Smoke. Be right here. Drummer for Blackberry Smoke. Britt Turner passed away.
Oh!
Yep. Yep. Younger than me. Believe 57 years old. They had to postpone a bunch of shows here recently, obviously, because of this.
God.
But
yeah, we were
contemplating.
He
had been suffering through an illness, but he soldiered through.
Wow.
Recorded the new album with them, Be Right Here. But again, like I said, always freaks me out, creeps me out when people younger than me die, especially somebody who's accomplished so much.
Yeah. That's heartbreaking.
Yep. Britt Turner, drummer for Blackberry Smoke, just passed away here within the last week. So
thoughts and prayers to everybody.
Yep. All right, Dave. What do we got to do?
It's time to pivot.
Only got three contestants this week in Dumbass or Not. America's favorite game show, of course, based on the original concept from the original Sports Frenzy, Red Foreman's Dumbass of the Week.
Yep. And as Red Foreman was fond to say, the way these people are screwing up their lives, death would be a sweet release.
Now, I don't know. I'm going to actually put this out here. I don't know if you're going to say any of these are dumbasses.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let's find out, shall we?
Although I have a feeling after your reaction a couple minutes ago, number one, I might be okay with. My first contestant in Dumbass or Not is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Dumbass. Oh.
This is going to take a minute. Now, we understand, right? You understand. You file trademarks. You know, you try to protect what you feel like you came up with, nicknames,
Right.
slogans.
Yeah.
Right? So Dwayne Johnson finally got his day in front of the SEC. Now that he's a board member with, this whole WWE, UFC conglomerate, whatever the fuck it is.
And then being involved with the whole United Football League.
Right. So he decided finally to push through, I deserve these trademarks.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Here we go, kids. These are all of the trademarks.
Oh, Lord.
That Dwayne Johnson now holds. The Rock, Jabroni, Candy Ass, If You Smell What The Rock Is Cooking, Rocky Maivia, Rudy Poo, The Samoan Sensation, The Great One, Team Corporate, The People's Elbow, The Blue Chipper, Blue Hell, Rockpocalypse, Project Rock, Rock Nation, The Nation, The Brahma Bull, The People's Champion, Know Your Role and Shut Your Mouth, Team Bring It, The Rock Just Bring It, Rock Bottom. Finally, The Rock has come back to fill in the blank. It doesn't matter what, fill in the blank. The millions and millions, fill in the blank. And the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment. He owns all of those now.
What a fucking dumbass. That's ridiculous. Nobody else.
Isn't that a little much?
That's way too damn much. Nobody is going to use that shit except for him. It doesn't make sense for anybody to say any of that shit except for him. He's the only dumbass who would come up with it.
Could be the second biggest dumbass trademark move we've ever talked about on this show, outside of Ohio State trademarking the.
God. Brain damaged crap.
Okay, let's talk about our neighbors to the north.
Oh no, we're going up to the Canadians there, eh?
Yep, we're going up there. Bob and Doug, all that good stuff.
Up to the Great White North.
Canada. In a good cause, but just the way they've worded this is so stupid. Canada has pledged millions of dollars, the Canadian government, to remove landmines in the Ukraine. Okay?
Okay.
But they have decided to pledge this money under the title of gender inclusive landmine removal.
What the fuck does that mean?
Because, I'm going to tell you, because landmine removal, and this is a direct quote, empowers men and women alike. And I'm not kidding, kids. This is direct quote.
God, that is damn stupid. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever freaking heard.
Once again, I'm just going to repeat it. And I am not lying. I am not fabricating.
What are they using? Bouncing Betties that are gonna take off manhood and make them gender neutral?
Canada again pledges millions to, quote, gender inclusive, unquote, landmine removal in the Ukraine because...
So some landmines have balls and some landmines have tits?
And I've always said that I thought that I wouldn't mind moving up to Canada.
Yeah, I'm rethinking that shit now. That's just...
Even with all the deadly snakes, I'm thinking Australia.
God.
Jesus, God. Canada's just...
Yeah, but at least
Trudeau's
in Canada
so
you can have
up.
a gun. Australia's outlawed guns, period.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true. All right, now finally, this is another one that's, I know, going to be a little touchy. But we're politically incorrect, so deal with it as we wrap things up here for the weekend edition. We love Harvey Guillen. Harvey Guillen plays Guillermo on What We Do in the Shadows. Gizmo.
Yep.
Gizmo. We love Gizmo, but he's starting to become one of those advocates. We know he's gay. We get it. They've written it into the show, and that's fine. We don't care. We knew it. We could tell. We knew it. But now he's become one of these people that thinks he has the right to discuss all things gay, queer, including the Disney princesses, because he had a speaking role in the animated movie that just bombed recently for Disney, Wish. In a recent interview, he was asked, what would you think about a queer Disney princess? And he says, I think that would be fantastic. Again, the alphabet mafia thinks they have all the power in the world.
Just
10% of the population.
Just
and now you've brought in our beloved Gizmo, and you've roped him into this shit.
Just no.
Disney doesn't get it. Disney's not even looking at their numbers and seeing how their movies are tanking. And they've destroyed the Marvel movies, and they're tanking, and they're losing tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're still doing this shit. And they're still pushing this. Stop it! Stop it!
Just stop the insanity.
Like we said, we know Gizmo is gay in the show. We get it. He's gay in real life. We get it.
That's fine. But don't go down this road. No.
You start dealing with the Disney princesses, you're starting to deal with our kids.
And that's
off limits. It's off limits. Despite what the snowflakes in California.
Doubling down.
Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to end on a bad note like that. I'm trying to be better. I am. Because I am trying to slowly but surely turn myself into America's most hated man. That's my goal. Because if I achieve that goal, I think I'm doing something right.
You might even become president.
Well, yeah, that's the guy I'm shooting for. I'm aiming for him because he's obviously number one.
My God.
And I'm tired of being number two, Dave. I don't want to be Dookie anymore. Always have fun. And again, thanks to Dave for coming up with the idea about going through the history of the Best Picture Oscars.
Yeah, in all the years we've known each other, we've never done that.
No, and we now have movies to watch, story times down the road.
Yep.
So there you go, kids. He's your Uncle Dave.
He's your Uncle Kev.
We will check you out next week. Take care. We love you. Bye-bye.